Shaking things up. The Milkshake Diaries. The Milkshake Diaries. Exclusive to KWM Radio. KWM Radio.
No, you're gonna dig this.
I was deeply touched when I was reading through the Beatitudes of the Sermon on the Mount in my Bible. I know that we don't get religious on this platform, and we're not going to. I'm basically going to be taking this text which I have read, and I'm going to try to apply it in real terms. There's so much to be said about the Beatitudes, and if I were to insert the entire piece into this broadcast, I'd be speaking for a very long time, and I'd bore the both of us to death. So for this week, I will be dividing the Beatitudes into small bite-sized pieces for you and I to contemplate on and to consume on its meaning and to bring the message home. So it says that blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It's taken from Matthew chapter 5 verse 3. So what does this mean? What is this poor in spirit spoken of here? Well, before we can go any further, we need to understand the context used in this piece. The words poor in spirit namely means to be humble, to humble ourselves so much that we put others and their needs ahead of our own, and hopefully by this inherit that kingdom of heaven spoken of. But how many of us are truly meek and humble in spirit? How many of us empty ourselves to such an extent that we truly care for and about others as well as put their needs ahead of our own? I have to confess that I too need to begin practicing emptying myself of all pride as well as of all things which may make me out to be a boastful, self-centered lunatic, because if I don't, I believe I will have a very bitter life and an afterlife as well. But let's not get religious here. My main worry is that too many of us are falling victim to having our own needs met while others are hungry, unemployed, hurt, but we do nothing to help them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we shouldn't put ourselves before other people. We shouldn't care for ourselves and those closest to us. That is vitally important. You cannot be a caregiver nor a person who helps others if you don't help and care for yourself first. What I'm saying is that sometimes our own egos take center stage when it shouldn't. Let me break it down. I work in the media and broadcasting industry and encounter some amazing people in my daily life. However, there are so many whom I meet in the corridors as well as during my broadcasts who are sometimes too self-centered. I find it utterly disrespectful as well as irk-worthy when someone whom I work with doesn't greet, or if they do and I ask them how they're doing, they'd merely respond with, "Oh, I'm okay." Well, in my mind I'm thinking, well, I'm good too, thank you for asking. Do we not worry about other people anymore? Why is it that we are not concerned about what someone else is going through? We can't go around and say that we are meek and humble in spirit, but our actions speak contrary to that. I blame technology as well as social media for getting us to this state. It is not solely to blame, but I think it did move us as a human race backwards. We may have advanced in our technological thinking, understanding, and the use we have for certain types of technology. However, many of us have lost the plot. We have lost our sense of identity. Gone are the days of manners maketh man. Gone are the days of people respecting one another, and more importantly, respecting and loving themselves. Everything on social media today is about me, and hardly about others. There's a lot of good on social media, the World Wide Web and technology as a whole, as it brings people together. However, I do also think that it divides. In a previous podcast, I spoke about how I'd noticed how people would go out as a family to a restaurant, and nearly 4 out of the 5, if not everyone, seated at the particular table for a family night out would be on their cell phones or tablets uploading statuses of where they are, where they were, what they were doing, and perhaps also posting or reposting a selfie or two. But for what? You are out with your family to spend quality time together, but are worried about Wi-Fi logging so that you can upload or download something for people who don't really care. Yes, I said it. People people on your social media don't really care about what you're eating, if you're eating a hamburger sitting on a beach sipping cocktails. Perhaps there are a nosy few on your friend or followers list interested in stalking you. But why do we find it necessary to go out and spend time with our family but are on our mobile device doing stupid things? I recently had a conversation with Alex Lewis, who had lost all 4 of his limbs as well as half of his face caused by a flesh-eating bug. Alex will be in Cape Town in October to kayak with a group of military amputees whom he is a ambassador for, as well as soon go to New Zealand for a marathon. He has such a zest for life and is motivated. He says that he doesn't say no to anything anymore because life is too short. Life is short. Will we be looking back in 60 years from now and say, damn, I did a good job in living my life? Or will we be sad and bitter looking back at the times where we put our own selfish needs ahead of others? Will we miss those who we have lost along the way because we had spent time with them? Or would we miss them because we regret not doing so? If we were to really live out these words of what was said in the year 30 AD or thereabouts, we need to do some serious discernment into whether we are indeed a nation and a people moving forward, or is our existence on the brink of mutilating and killing itself as we lose our soul to our self-centered egos? Are we ready to live a life of humility? Are we ready to live a life of confidence, but not a life of selfishness and greed? There are many directions and many interpretations of this simple phrase found in the Bible. However, this is mine and this is what I believe. I believe that we live a life which has been given to us and that we have a mission here on earth. Each of us have a different vocation to fulfill, and each of us, our purposes is to serve one another. But to serve one another, we need to empty ourselves of these big egos, which at times flood out and destroy the relationships we could have with each other.
KWM Radio is a product of KWM Entertainment. We strive to provide you with good quality entertainment, good music and good conversation. More so, we strive to bridge unity where there may be a disconnect and break down walls which may divide. We promote a world of free thinkers, music lovers and good news spreaders. KWM Radio exists because of you. We strive to empower, inspire and motivate. Our mandate is to keep you listening and wanting more. For this reason, we want you to tell us what you may like to hear in future programs. You can also give us feedback on our past programming. You can direct your messages to kwewimigic@gmail.com. That's kwewimigic@gmail.com. KWM Radio with Keenan Williams.